So, yesterday we were doing some basic concepts of accounting, and in that we discussed some basics like assets, the classifications, and liabilities and the classifications. So, in that part, we have not just completed all the things. So, we did current assets and current liabilities yesterday. So today we will continue with further sub topics of assets. So we will continue with non-current part. Excuse me. So today we will continue with non-current assets and non-current liabilities. Let me share the screen. So now we will start with non-current assets. So non-current assets are those assets which are kept for a long time period, for more than 1 year, and is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now we are doing non-current assets. Non-current assets are those assets. I'll give example like building, plant, land, furniture. These type of assets are called non-current assets. And non-current means when the value is higher and they are kept for long time period and they are not kept for resale. They are used for uh, not for resale, and they are kept for further production. So non-current means more than 12 months of time period. And examples. Before I'll go with examples, I'll classify few more things in this non-current assets. They are of two types: tangible and intangible. So tangible because they have physical appearance, they can be seen or touched. And examples are land, building, plant, machinery, furniture, motor car, livestock. So they have higher value and they are kept for more than 12 months. And other type is intangible assets. Intangible assets, like we cannot see or touch these assets. And their examples are goodwill. Goodwill means reputation of the company. If I know the name of some company through some advertisement or someone's reference, and that is known by most of the people in certain place, some place. So that means it has some goodwill, and they must have done some good services. They have given some good services to their customers by giving good quality products at reasonable prices, and they must have been in touch with the customers. So these type of companies earn goodwill. So this goodwill is not anything that can be seen or touched. So this goodwill is just, it can be felt and it can be recorded when we earn profits from these goodwill, like when someone give reference to our company. So this is the only thing that we can understand, that someone is preferring us in a vast competitive market. uh, there would be something better which we are providing to others. So goodwill is, um, like it, um, what we can say is, just a second, someone is debating. So goodwill shows that we are doing something good in the market, and we are giving something better than other competitors, other rival firms. So we are earning more profits. So we write few some value, monetary value in our books. We calculate in some, there are some methods to calculate this value. So that will discuss later on. If that is in your syllabus, then only we will discuss this thing. But right now it's sufficient to understand that it is just a good reputation of the company which is earned and which gives us profits. So goodwill is an intangible asset, and other is patent. And like a very simple example I can give is computer software. So these are examples of intangible assets which have longer life, and we can use it for many years. And then these are the type of assets which we have completed here. Yesterday we did current assets, and then this is the non-current assets. And yes, we have few more. We have non-current investments. Yesterday we discussed current investments or short-term investments in the current assets part. So investments are same. If we buy these investments for short time period, that will be recorded in the current assets. And if we are buying these investments for a long term, for more than 1 year, so that will be recorded in the non-current assets. So these are the main assets which we have covered. Now let's come to the non-current liabilities. So the same way, liabilities means like when we are liable to pay something back, when we buy something in credit, so we need to pay back the money. So in the same way, if we buy anything on long term basis for more than 1 year, suppose we are taking a long term loan, I'll write it long-term borrowing as an example. Long-term borrowing. So borrowing means loans. So it can be loans, it can be debentures. If someone is aware about this term, debentures. So debentures are the units, same as companies issue the shares. So there are some units like debentures. They have some differences. There is some difference between shares and debentures. I'll write some difference, and then only it will be more easier to understand. Like most of us know what are shares. Like in the stock market, we buy shares and we sell the shares. There are some other units called debentures. These are the important things to understand because we have many related things in our syllabus to understand which are related to debentures and shares. Like we will discuss capital structure. So these shares and debentures will be important in those topics. So shares means like if I am an investor, I am not a company. I am not considering myself a company. Suppose I am a normal investor and I want to invest my money in some company. Like I want to buy some shares of Reliance or some other companies. Suppose Tata Steel or Tata Capital, whatever the company. So we have a lot of companies in the stock market. So if I want to buy some shares, so the value of shares will be smaller. Value is lesser. Value of, let me write it correctly. Value of one share is lesser, and here value of debenture is higher. So let's cover this with the differences so it will be easy to understand the concept of shares and debentures. So if I'm an investor, there are two or three types of investors in the market. So if I want to invest my money in some companies and I want to take risk, and but on the other way I want to earn higher profits, so I'll invest in shares. So high risk and high profits. And in debentures, these are costlier than shares. So on the other way, if I am a second investor and I want to keep my money safe, I want to keep my money, I want to get this money back, and I want to earn a minimum amount of profit in the form of interest from the company. So I'll invest in debentures. So debentures have low risk, I can say least, and lesser profits. Profits in point of view of the investors. From investors' point of view. Here, no fixed dividend. if I am a customer, if I'm an investor, if I have invested my money in shares, so I will not get a fixed rate of interest as a dividend from the company. But in case of debentures, if I have invested my money in debentures, I will get fixed rate of interest. So debentures are same as loans for the company. The difference is loans are taken from the, if I am a company, I'm taking loan from from a financial institution or a bank. So let's suppose I'm taking a loan of 10 lakh rupees and I have to pay some interest. For example, I'm paying interest at the rate of 10% per annum to the bank. If bank is charging 10% per annum rate of interest on the loan, so I have another option to borrow from the public by issuing debentures to the public. So the bigger companies, the private limited companies, have wider options to borrow money from many resources like financial institutions or public or many more things, which we will discuss further. This is the some basics of debentures which I wanted to discuss. So non-current liability. Just a sec. So in non-current liabilities, debentures are very important to understand, and loans are general things which most of us know that a company or a person can borrow from bank, and debentures is a long-term liability for a company. A company just uh, identify which type of source it needs to choose for its funds requirement. They have many factors to understand for this. So these are the basic terms of non-current liabilities. Long-term borrowing and another is long-term provision is also another term. But yesterday I discussed provision term, and I want to ask one thing, that I have sent a file, the topics which we have discussed yesterday. So were everyone able to open that file?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's recall. We did non-current assets, and we had two types of non-current assets: tangible, intangible. We have examples. And non-current liabilities, we have long-term borrowings, which is main, and another, shares is also a part of a liability, but it doesn't come under long-term borrowing. It comes under capital part. For a private limited companies, shares have a separate heading under liability, which we will discuss in the balance sheet part. So right now, these are the main terms which we had to discuss and which we needed to complete related to balance sheet only. Now we have few more terms before going to the financial statements. We need to understand few more terms, like we have discussed assets and liabilities, which will cover the balance sheet part. We also have few more terms related to profit and loss statement. So we need to know terms related to incomes, gains, expenses, losses. We can take example of incomes like if I have a property and I have given it in the form of it's a rented property and I'm earning a rental income from that. So it will be considered as an income for my business. Or if I'll so examples are rental income, interest from investments. These are the incomes, etc. We have other terms like gains, gains or profits. For example, profit on sale of some assets, or discount received. These are some profits, gains. Then we'll go towards expenses. Expenses has two categories. Revenue and capital. Revenue expenditure means the expenses which we have to incur on a regular basis on day-to-day business operations. For example, office rent, salaries to employees, or wages, or administration expenses. These are the expenses which we have to incur so that our business must run, must continue, and it continuously give us a revenue part. Revenue means when we earn by selling some goods and services. So to earn any revenue from for the company, we have to incur some expenses. For example, if I'll take a place on a rental basis, and if I want to do the business on that particular property, so whether I earn a profit or not, I have to bear that expense. So if I have an employee and I have to pay the salary to employee if I have hired that person. So whether I am earning that particular amount of money to pay the employee or not, I'll have to bear that part. So these are the expenses which the firm has to bear, irrespective of any profit or losses. So revenue expenses are the regular expenses which they have to bear to earn revenue. Other expenses are capital expenditure. Capital expenditure means when a capital term comes, it means it is telling us about some asset or liability. So asset or liabilities are involved in a capital term. So capital expenditure means expenses are incurred, but on purchase of some assets, some fixed assets or non-current assets, or else I have made payment, repayment of bank loan, etc. So capital expenditure affects our assets and liabilities. Either they increase our assets or they decrease our liability. If I'm buying some fixed asset, so it increases assets of the company. And if I am repaying the loan, bank loan, so it will reduce my liability. So capital expenditure affects our assets and liabilities. So what we have discussed here is incomes, gains, expenses की categories, and then we have losses. Losses are in the regular course of business. We have discount allowed, depreciation, amortization. Discount allowed means when we are giving discount to our customers, so it is a loss for us. Depreciation is wear and tear loss, which we have discussed yesterday. So, and amortization, there is a bit difference between depreciation and amortization. Actually, they have same meaning, but depreciation takes place in fixed assets in the tangible assets part. It is a loss of tangible assets, and amortization is the loss on intangible assets. So these are the types of losses which are necessary to understand. So above we have discussed all the terms of balance sheet, and here we have discussed all the terms of profit and loss statement. Statement of profit and loss, or I can say income statement. Now, the next part is the next part which we have to discuss is further we will prepare a format of balance sheet, and then we will prepare a format of profit and loss account. All the terms which we have discussed yesterday of all the current assets, current liabilities, and today we have discussed the non-current assets and non-current liabilities. So how do we make a statement of these terms? Balance sheet, actually in accounts, we have to consider few things, that all the assets and all the liabilities which are recorded in our statement, they should be equal in value. Balance sheet total of both sides. If this is a liability side and this is asset side. We have discussed non-current assets and current assets. All fixed assets are under this non-current assets, and they have two parts, tangible and intangible. In current assets, we discussed yesterday a few examples of current assets. cash in hand, bank balance, debtors, bills, receivables, stock, prepaid expense, and accrued income. And in liabilities, we have first we have capital. In capital, we have some format to learn. Capital mein we need to add net profit of the firm or less net loss and less drawings. Drawings term we have not discussed yet. Drawings means when as an owner of a business, I'm withdrawing some amount for my personal use. So that particular part is called drawings. So in capital, we have to add net profit, or I have to deduct net loss and deduct the drawings. Final amount will be recorded in the column, amount column. And others, apart from the capital, I have non-current liabilities. And I've given the example of long-term borrowings. Long-term borrowings may we have bank loan, we have debentures, and then we have current liabilities. Current liabilities may we have discussed all the terms yesterday. So this is the format of balance sheet. I'll send all the things in a PDF format, whatever we are discussing today. Yes, Manvi.
सर ये कैपिटल जो है सपोज कोई बिजनेस है कैपिटल वही जो अमाउंट जितने अमाउंट में वो बिजनेस स्टार्ट हुआ वही ना
राइट कैपिटल वही है
ओके सर तो जैसे सपोज एक हॉस्पिटल के बेसिस पे अगर लें तो 100 करोड़ लगे उसमें प्लस नेट प्रॉफिट सपोज उसने 3 करोड़ का प्रॉफिट किया माइनस नेट लॉस में जो लॉसेस हुए सपोज 1 करोड़ का लॉस हुआ एंड उसमें से उसने 1.5 करोड़ ड्राइंग ले लिया तो ये सब नेट प्रॉफिट में से ही तो आएगा ना
एक्चुअली नेट प्रॉफिट या नेट लॉस में से एक ही चीज आएगी अगर आप एक बेसिक सी चीज सोचो कि आप अगर कहीं पे कोई चीज सेल कर रहे हो तो या आप प्रॉफिट अर्न करोगे या आपको लॉस हो जाएगा दोनों में से एक ही चीज होगी ना तो अगर नेट प्रॉफिट है तो वी हैव टू ऐड नेट प्रॉफिट अगर नेट लॉस है तो वी हैव टू डिडक्ट नेट लॉस और ड्राइंग्स अलग रहती हैं वो तो आप जो प्रोपराइटर हैं वो अपने बिजनेस में जब भी कभी अपने लिए पर्सनल यूज के लिए अपने हाउस होल्ड एक्सपेंसेस के लिए विड्रॉ करेंगे तो वो अमाउंट एज अ ड्राइंग्स इस कैपिटल में से ही डिडक्ट किया जाएगा
अच्छा कैपिटल इज द अमाउंट सर मुझे कैपिटल समझ नहीं आया कैपिटल जो हमने नहीं एक्चुअली मेरा कॉमर्स बैकग्राउंड नहीं है इसलिए मुझे कैपिटल समझ नहीं आ रहा
एक्चुअली मैं सही बताऊं मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा कि आपने एटलीस्ट एक सवाल पूछा कल से मैं खुद ही बोल रहा हूं तो मुझे लग रहा है एटलीस्ट मुझे लग रहा है कि मैं खुद से बातें कर रहा हूं तो
नहीं
हाँ बिल्कुल तो कैपिटल इज देखो वी हैव मेनी टॉपिक्स टू डिस्कस फॉर कैपिटल का मतलब होता है कि अगर सपोज मैं एक छोटा सा बिजनेस स्टार्ट करता हूँ अपना तो जो भी पैसा मैं अपने बिजनेस में डालूंगा इन द फॉर्म ऑफ कैश इन द फॉर्म ऑफ स्टॉक इन द फॉर्म ऑफ फर्नीचर वट एवर मनी और द एनी एसेट ऑफ सम मॉनेटरी वैल्यू वो कोई भी हो सकता है। एटलीस्ट अगर मैंने कैश डाला तो भी वो कैश एटलीस्ट मैंने इन्वेस्ट किया, अदरवाइज अगर मैंने कोई एसेट बिजनेस में डाल दिया तो वो भी मेरे लिए इन्वेस्टमेंट ही है।
राइट।
तो जो भी टोटल अमाउंट ऑफ मनी उन सब की मिला के बन जाएगी, वो कैपिटल बन जाएगी बिजनेस के लिए।
ओके, ठीक है।
राइट, ठीक है। तो अभी हम लोग जो बात कर रहे हैं, जो द टाइप ऑफ बैलेंस शीट जो हम लोग अभी डिस्कस कर रहे हैं, वो छोटे बिजनेसेस ऐसे ही बैलेंस शीट मेंटेन करते हैं। तो अब जो हम इसके बाद आगे जब क्योंकि हमारे उसमें टॉपिक में कैश फ्लो स्टेटमेंट भी है, तो कैश फ्लो स्टेटमेंट डिस्कस करने से पहले मुझे आपको इसका दूसरा फॉर्मेट भी समझाना पड़ेगा, विच इज शेड्यूल 3 बैलेंस शीट। शेड्यूल 3 बैलेंस शीट वो बैलेंस शीट होती है जिसमें एक्चुअली में एसेट्स और लायबिलिटीज तो वही रहेंगे, थोड़ी टर्म्स डिफरेंट हो जाएंगी, थोड़ा फॉर्मेट उसको रिकॉर्ड करने का डिफरेंट हो जाएगा।
ओके।
वो जो बड़े बिजनेसेस हैं जैसे कि टाटा और रिलायंस होते हैं, ये बड़े बड़े प्राइवेट लिमिटेड फर्म्स होती हैं, वो अपने उसी फॉर्मेट में अपने अकाउंट्स मेंटेन करते हैं। वो एलाबोरेटेड है, थोड़ा सा बड़ा है, उसमें बहुत सारी टर्म्स इन्वॉल्व है।
ठीक है,
ठीक है। तो अभी जो हम लोग बैलेंस शीट डिस्कस कर रहे हैं, बहुत सिंपल सा बैलेंस शीट फॉर्मेट है, जो कि छोटे बिजनेसेस अपना एक नॉर्मली अकाउंट्स मेंटेन करके इसको इस तरह से करते हैं। तो दे हैव टू साइड्स, एसेट्स एंड लायबिलिटीज, लेफ्ट साइड में लायबिलिटीज, राइट साइड में एसेट्स। और हम इस तरह से ही अपने लायबिलिटीज सारी की सारी लायबिलिटीज के अंडर हम लोग करेंगे, पर उससे पहले हम लोग कैपिटल की सारी जितने भी सब जो डिटेल्स हैं उसको एक साथ ही प्लस माइनस करके उसका फाइनल अमाउंट कॉलम में डाल देंगे।
ओके, ठीक है, समझा।
हाँ, तो इसके 3 पार्ट्स हैं, कैपिटल, नॉन करंट लायबिलिटीज एंड करंट लायबिलिटीज। और एसेट साइड में हमारे पास 2 है जो मेन हमारे पास है, तो उसमें नॉन करंट एसेट्स एंड करंट एसेट्स। ठीक है,
ठीक है सर।
ओके। इसके बाद हमारे पास एक्चुअली बैलेंस शीट बाद में आनी चाहिए थी, मैंने पहले करा दी। मैं आपको समझाता हूँ। इससे पहले वो नेट प्रॉफिट जो निकला था वो कैसे निकलेगा। हमने अब एक्सपेंसेस और इनकम सारी डिस्कस करी है, तो वी विल ड्रॉ अनदर फॉर्मेट ऑफ ट्रेडिंग एंड प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस अकाउंट। ट्रेडिंग एंड प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस अकाउंट। अब ये ट्रेडिंग एंड प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस अकाउंट, प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस अकाउंट जो टर्म है उसमें नाम से ही समझ में आ रहा है कि प्रॉफिट या लॉस, हम यहाँ पे प्रॉफिट या लॉस निकालने वाले हैं। तो हमें एक रूल याद रखना पड़ेगा। ये एक अकाउंट है, मैं जब यहाँ पे लिख रहा हूँ अकाउंट, AC अकाउंट, तो अकाउंट का मतलब होता है उसके कुछ रूल्स होते हैं, अकाउंटिंग रूल्स होते हैं। ये है इसकी डेबिट साइड, लेफ्ट साइड जो होती है डेबिट साइड होती है, और राइट साइड जो होती है वो होती है क्रेडिट साइड। डेबिट साइड एंड क्रेडिट साइड। अब डेबिट साइड में, अब क्योंकि ये जो अकाउंट है, इस अकाउंट का नेचर है ये एक नॉमिनल अकाउंट है। नॉमिनल अकाउंट मींस यहाँ पे सारे एक्सपेंसेस, लॉसेस, इनकम्स और गेन्स ही रिकॉर्ड होने वाले हैं, और इससे हमारा एक फाइनली एक नेट प्रॉफिट या नेट लॉस ही कैलकुलेट होगा। तो द नेचर ऑफ अकाउंट इज नॉमिनल अकाउंट। अब यहाँ पे सब हमारे पास लेफ्ट साइड में एक्सपेंसेस और लॉसेस आएंगे, इसका भी रूल है। तो जब हम लोग एक लेजर अकाउंट बनाते हैं तो हमारे उसमें कुछ रूल्स होते हैं, जिसमें से एक रूल जो अभी रिक्वायर्ड है टू प्रिपेयर प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस अकाउंट, ट्रेडिंग अकाउंट, उसमें हमारे पास डेबिट साइड में सारे एक्सपेंसेस और लॉसेस रिकॉर्ड होंगे, और क्रेडिट साइड में सारे इनकम्स और गेन्स रिकॉर्ड होंगे। सो रिमेम्बरिंग दीज रूल्स, हमें ये सब चीजें अपनी रिकॉर्ड करनी है। तो मैंने जो भी एक्सपेंसेस, इनकम्स और प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस के जितने भी मैंने टर्म्स यूज करे थे, वो मैं यहाँ पे अब साइड यहाँ पे 1 by 1 लिख देता हूँ। सबसे पहले हम लोग लिखते हैं यहाँ पे ओपनिंग स्टॉक। ओपनिंग स्टॉक मीन्स कि स्टॉक इन द बिगिनिंग ऑफ द ईयर जो भी हमारे पास पड़ा हुआ है वो स्टॉक हम लोग यहाँ रिकॉर्ड कर देंगे। बिफोर दैट मैं उसकी बेसिक हेडिंग्स बना देता हूँ। सबसे पहले हम लोग यहाँ लिखेंगे ओपनिंग स्टॉक, देन ऑल डायरेक्ट एक्सपेंसेस, direct expenses means directly related to production. सपोज मेरी एक फैक्ट्री है, तो उस फैक्ट्री में जितने भी अप टू प्रोडक्शन तक के जितने भी एक्सपेंसेस होंगे वो सब मैं यहाँ पे रिकॉर्ड करने वाला हूँ। तो ओपनिंग स्टॉक के बाद सबसे पहले मैं यहाँ लिखूंगा परचेजेस। अब मैं साथ साथ वो टर्म्स भी बता दूंगा जो हमने अभी तक डिस्कस नहीं करी। तो परचेजेस किसे बोलते हैं? परचेजेस नॉर्मली अगर मैं उसको एक मीनिंग निकालूं तो परचेज का मतलब खरीदना होता है, पर परचेजेस टर्म जो है वो उन सिर्फ गुड्स के लिए आती है। हम अकाउंट्स में उन्हीं के लिए यूज करते हैं जो गुड्स को हमने रीसेल करना है। यानी अगर मैं एक बुक सेलर हूं तो मैं अगर बुक्स कहीं से प्रोड्यूसर से बाय कर रहा हूं तो मैं उनको परचेजेस के नाम से रिकॉर्ड करूंगा। अगर मैं कोई फर्नीचर अपने लिए बाय कर रहा हूं अपने ऑफिस में रखने के लिए तो मैं उसको परचेजेस अकाउंट नहीं लिखूंगा, उसको मैं फर्नीचर ही लिखूंगा। तो परचेजेस हम लोग तब रिकॉर्ड करते हैं जब हम लोग कोई गुड्स बाय कर रहे हैं फॉर द पर्पस ऑफ रीसेल। तो ओपनिंग स्टॉक, परचेजेस। अब परचेजेस में से हो सकता है वी हैव रिटर्न एनीथिंग, उसको बोलते हैं परचेज रिटर्न। अगर हम लोग कोई गुड्स रिटर्न कर देते हैं तो वो लेस कर देंगे और फाइनल अमाउंट यहाँ पे लिख देंगे। एंड उसके अलावा वी हैव डायरेक्ट एक्सपेंसेस लाइक wages or salaries. There is a difference between salaries and wages. Wages means we are giving wages to the daily wage workers who are not the permanent employees. तो wages इसलिए यहाँ पे रिकॉर्ड होंगी। देन हम यहाँ सैलरीज रिकॉर्ड नहीं करेंगे, ट्रेडिंग अकाउंट में सिर्फ प्रोडक्शन के एक्सपेंसेस आएंगे। वेजेस, देन कैरेज इनवर्ड्स, then other factory expenses, and on the right side we will write sales में से लेस करेंगे सेल्स रिटर्न, ये लेस ब्रैकेट मींस कि मैं कुछ लेस कर रहा हूं, एंड देन क्लोजिंग स्टॉक। अब एक छोटा सा बैलेंसिंग फिगर निकलेगा कि मैं टोटल क्रेडिट साइड में जितनी भी मेरी टोटल आ रही है उस टोटल इनकम्स में से, क्योंकि क्रेडिट में इनकम्स एंड गेन्स है, तो जितना भी टोटल क्रेडिट साइड का इनकम साइड है उसमें से जितने भी एक्सपेंसेस हैं डेबिट साइड के वो माइनस करने के बाद एक बैलेंसिंग अमाउंट बचेगा। सपोज वी हैव the total amount is 1 lakh in the right side, और लेफ्ट साइड में अभी तक का जो टोटल अमाउंट है that is 90,000। अब मेरा लेजर का जो एक फॉर्मेट है वो कहता है कि मुझे दोनों साइड्स बराबर रखनी है। दोनों में से जिस साइड में भी टोटल ज्यादा होगा वो दोनों साइड में रहेगा। तो इफ द राइट साइड हैज अमाउंट टोटल अमाउंट ऑफ 1 lakh and the left side or the debit side has a total amount of 90,000, then we will write 10,000 by subtracting 1 lakh में से 90,000 subtract कर दिए तो we will get a balancing figure and we will write it gross profit. Gross profit means the gross term means it is not the final answer. It still has few more things to adjust further. So this is the gross profit which we have received, the profit part which we have received from the factory by earning 10,000 rupees from that. हमें ग्रॉस लॉस भी हो सकता है अगर हमारे एक्सपेंसेस बढ़ जाएं और इनकम्स कम हो जाएं, तो हमारे पास ग्रॉस लॉस भी रिकॉर्ड होगा। तो दोनों पॉसिबिलिटीज हैं। ग्रॉस प्रॉफिट भी हो सकता है और ग्रॉस लॉस भी हो सकता है। अब ये अगर सपोज करते हैं कि हमारा ग्रॉस प्रॉफिट या ग्रॉस लॉस में से एक वैल्यू आ गया, तो वी विल कंटिन्यू विद द नेक्स्ट पार्ट विच इज प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस अकाउंट। तो ये जो ग्रॉस प्रॉफिट है, टोटल करने के बाद, जैसे मैंने 1 लाख रुपीज का टोटल दोनों साइड में दिखा दिया, उसके बाद मुझे ग्रॉस प्रॉफिट को ट्रांसफर करना है, कंटिन्यूटी करनी है, मुझे ये अपने मार्जिन कंटिन्यू करने हैं, और ये ग्रॉस प्रॉफिट को मैं यहाँ पे ब्रॉट डाउन कर दूंगा। ग्रॉस प्रॉफिट मैंने यहाँ पे अगेन ट्रांसफर कर दिया ऑपोजिट साइड में। उसके बाद मैं अगर ग्रॉस लॉस हुआ तो ग्रॉस लॉस को मैं यहाँ पे ट्रांसफर करूंगा। Then we will continue with further expenses and incomes. Suppose I have an office. ये वाले जो ऊपर हमने अभी भी रिकॉर्ड किए, these are related to my factory. Now I have an office where my other employees are working and I have some other things to do. So we will continue all those expenses and incomes of that office in this next part. तो ग्रॉस प्रॉफिट अगर आ गया, सपोज ये 10,000 रुपीज का ग्रॉस प्रॉफिट जो हमें था, हमने ये रिकॉर्ड कर दिया, इसको ट्रांसफर भी कर दिया। अब मैं देखूंगा कि मुझे और ऑफिस से कौन कौन सी इनकम्स आ रही, क्योंकि क्रेडिट साइड मींस इनकम्स एंड गेन्स। तो आई हैव मेनी अदर टर्म्स टू रिकॉर्ड हियर। तो दिस इज द साइड ऑफ इनकम, एंड इन द प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस अकाउंट वी आर recording indirect incomes. It was the direct income, sales is the direct income, and here we will write indirect incomes. Means we have some interest on investments, we have discount received, we have commission received, we have rent received, and in the debit side we have many expenses like salary, administrative expenses, selling and distribution expenses, printing, stationery, traveling expense, advertisement expense, repair and maintenance, discount allowed, bad debts. Bad debts is also a loss. Bad debts means when we are expecting money from a customer but he does not pay us back. He is a bad debtor for me. So we will write it bad debts. So we are now in future we will consider him as a loss for our company and we will not receive a money from this customer. So we will write it as a permanent loss. So these are the expenses, or we have more discount allowed bad debts, Repair is done. Office rent. The same way we receive commission, we can pay commission also. Interest on borrowings. Borrowing is our liability, but interest on that borrowing is an expense for us. So these are some expenses and incomes. Now, when we have some gross profit from our factory, we have recorded some more incomes and we have recorded some expenses. Finally, again, we will total both sides and we will check which is the higher side. Again, suppose the total of the credit side is 8 lakh and the total of this side is 6 lakh 50,000. Total of this side. So I have to write 8 lakh here also. That means incomes are more and expenses are lesser. So I will write net profit here. Net profit net means ki this is the final profit. We have no more deductions to be done from this amount. This is the amount which owner gets as a profit. And after this statement, we take this net profit or net loss. Net loss may also occur, but any of it, only one thing will come. So here in the balance sheet, we will add net profit in the capital, or if it is a net loss, then we will deduct from here in the capital part. So these are the terms and these are the formats which we have to understand. These are the basic financial statements which small firms use to finalize their accounts. But the bigger firms, they do not use this format, but the terms remains same, the meanings remain same. Few more terms will come in the next class where I will elaborate this thing in the other method, that is schedule 3 part. Both the things will continue again tomorrow. But before that, I'll request you all to please go through these things, understand these things, and then we will continue with the balance sheet and profit and loss according to the format which we have to follow while doing the cash flow statement, which is the main part of this syllabus. And rest, we have many more things to do. So this is all to be done in this class. So I'll send some proper format of these topics today